The fallout from the Charlie Kirk shooting continues to get darker and more gross by the day. Both sides are taking this moment and feeding it into something that's going to impact us all, rob us of our freedoms, our rights, and we're starting to see the writing on the wall here. And I want to start today with JD Vance, who went on Charlie Kirk's own platform and held like a live stream yesterday. And on it, he said basically was saying that if you see people like celebrating his death, to not only just condemn that behavior, but report them to their employer and like kind of hint at like doxing them. That's the second highest official in the country telling the public to turn speech into HR cases. And this is also the right who, if you were not paying attention 5 years ago, was all over cancel culture and was condemning it. Now starting to kind of put the shoe on the other foot and turn things around. Now they just want their turn to hold the leash. On campuses, it's moving faster. In Texas Tech, there was an 18-year-old woman who showed up at a vigil. There was mourners there for Charlie Kirk and just like taunting them, saying things, very vile behavior. He was arrested on a simple assault, was booked into county jail, and Texas Tech, she was no longer enrolled there. But then you have the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, putting her on blast on Twitter, tweeting out her arrest photo and said, "This is what happened, FAFO." For those of you who don't know what that means, fuck around and find out. That's the governor of Texas using his megaphone to celebrate an arrest over speech at a vigil. That's not just dogpiling. We're starting to see the state put their thumb on the scale. And we're starting to see people lose their jobs of this. This happened in our own state. There was a teacher in Oskaloosa that lost their job. We're seeing people who work in the medical field, city employees, media folks, just random office workers, like losing their jobs for posts and comments that the bosses are deciding is unacceptable. And even the Pentagon has rolled out a tolerance posture for service members who are posting celebratory crap. Troops have already been relieved or disciplined. And you can argue the Uniform Code of Military Justice all day, but the point is that the enforcement machine is awake and swinging, and it's from the side that claimed to be against a lot of these things. There's been a mass reporting layer. There's an anonymous website that popped up, and it's branded itself as the Charlie Kirk Data Foundation. And it's bragging about tens of thousands of submissions flagging people for anti Charlie Kirk extremism. And whether the list is accurate or it's not accurate, it's a pipeline for doxing people and putting pressure on employers to fire people, lose their jobs. You combine that with the vice president telling you to go after these people, call HR, and a governor shouting, fuck around and find out. And you're starting to get a turnkey system punishing speech at the scale. And none of this is new at all. After 9/11, a lot of outrage and emotion, frustration turned into the Patriot Act, the Fourth Amendment pretty much being useless, a lot of more surveillance, secret lists, and 20-year wars that were just passed out on a credit card. In the 1960s, a lot of political assassinations and riots were followed by COINTELPRO, informants, crackdowns that really reshaped public life for a whole generation. And that formula does not change, and it will not continue to change unless we continue to act differently than we are right now. It starts with violence that leads to outrage. And then we're going to get policy, and that's going to result in less freedoms. The players change, but the direction doesn't. And while I'm very nervous and scared about where politicians on the right could take this, there's an ugly truth that you don't have to like to understand. If you are trolling people and cheering on murder, I think you are morally bankrupt. I think that is very dystopian, ugly behavior. And you're also, by doing this, you're being very incredibly useful to the same people who want more power. I mean, one clip of the worst person on a campus or the worst tweet you can find becomes a pretext for a governor's threat, university purge, Pentagon memo, blacklist site, and a vice president telling you to dox people and get people fired. You're handing them the raw material and they're going to pour the concrete. So if you're clapping because the hammer fell on somebody you hate, you're missing the whole point of this entire video. The hammer doesn't get put back on the shelf. It gets handed to the next guy. The cycle spins again. You have different targets with the same outcome. And it affects us all. We're going to get less speech. We're going to get more fear. We're going to get more rules. And the only ones who are going to win in all this are the people who are writing those rules. Those are the politicians. Those are the institutions. Those are the platforms. While everyone else is busy filming each other and feeding the machine, it's going to end up chewing us and spitting us all out. So, yes, you have a right to condemn this ugly behavior. Nobody should be celebrating anyone's death. But also stop pretending that the solution is to build an enforcement regime around grief and rage, because that is not justice. That's ugly infrastructure. And it's starting to be built right now in public with your help, whether you even realize it or not.